Meditation. Meditation can be healing. Meditation can be provoking. Meditation can be in the moment. Meditation can be a habit. Meditation is an exercise where we exercise our ability to come into the present moment. Now, for many people think of meditation and they think of trying to quiet their mind or trying to stop their thoughts, when in fact, meditation, not in a contemplative way, but meditation can really bring us really strong awareness into how our mind is operating, into what the programming that is already there is. So in a sense, meditation can be an undoing. Meditation can be a calming. But that might not always be what you're experiencing when you do experience meditation, especially in those early stages. So meditation, we can get into also a space where we're doing the same thing over and over, and we get into our comfort zone as well. Now, if that's working for you and it's keeping you in a space that you want to be in, and maybe a space that you need to be in order to do more work afterwards, that's great. But I also challenge you to mix it up. Find other meditation styles that maybe even aggravate you a little bit. Because when we aggravate something, we're stirring it up. And just like in science, we would shake something to aggravate it. We're seeing what's still there, what still needs to be resolved. So that when things are coming up in your meditation practice, that can be a good thing. That can be an awareness factor of saying, oh, there's something there that I need to address. Now, yoga shows us that we can address things more than just journaling. That in fact, by putting ourselves in certain yoga postures and asana, that we can release what is being stored in our body, in our mind, and we can rewire the way our mind thinks and acts just by doing physical postures, which is pretty beautiful. So how I would typically frame our practice is maybe we wake up and we do our Abhyanga oil and we sit and meditate. Or maybe we would do our Abhyanga oil and then we would do our asana practice and then we would sit into meditation. So we can use the asana practice to help start releasing, to start aggravating, and then allowing ourselves to sit. So we're correcting our posture through our yoga practice of asana and allowing ourselves to sit. So I don't know if you find this to happen, but when you sit in meditation and you're noticing suddenly, oh, there's this spot. I do this often if I don't do my asana practice first. And I find myself in my meditation practice craving movement. Maybe I notice my neck starts getting stiff and then I'm wanting to release that. So taking the time to do the asana practice first is really beautiful so that we can sit in stillness for a little bit longer. Now, if you are the person that everything is already aggravated and then you need to let it settle, again, yoga asana can be a beautiful thing. That's why our asana practice can vary quite a bit. It can vary in maybe we just need something gentle to release the tension in more of a restorative sense. Or maybe you are really aggravated and you need to help get the movement, get the jitters, get the junk out, and then you can settle. So we can settle by having our savasana. Or if savasana isn't available for you in the moment, then to come into your seated practice. Because it's really that state of letting go, of getting ourselves into that deep relaxation response is when healing really truly begins. So let's start with just a simple release. Just let your chin drop down towards your chest. And take 3 deep breaths here. keeping low, roll the head over, so ear towards shoulder, stretching along the neck, taking 3 deep breaths. Carefully bringing back to center first, and then we'll roll that over to the other side, ear towards shoulder, stretching along the neck, 3 deep breaths. Letting go. Coming back to center, and then stacking the vertebrae as you come back up. And we'll look over, just turning on that exhale. Take 3 deep breaths. Come back to center, little pause. Notice your spine, and then turn to the other direction on that exhale. 3 deep breaths. Come back to center again. Notice your spine. So often we can shift that weight in those hips. We really want to even that weight out. And then just notice your spine, notice your hips, notice any tension in your body. We can always do a squeeze and release. And again, you can do those a few times. Maybe you'd like to do the 3, or maybe you'd like to do even 10. So notice where you're having any tension and just squeeze and release so we can work that tension out. A lot of times we're at our desk, so maybe you'd like to open it up. And a great Kundalini exercise, we take the tops of the hands together and then open up, palms open. And so you can exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. And then let yourself release. And as you come into your meditation practice today, just focus on your breath. So let's start with inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 4. Now maybe you can go more than 4. Maybe you can go out more than 4. If you can, that's okay, that's beautiful. Maybe you'd like to keep that as an even part breath and take it to a 6 or an 8 count. Even part breathing. Continue this even part breathing until you feel maybe tension release out of the shoulders. Or maybe it's an arch in the low back that you're squeezing into that you can release. Continue until we elicit that relaxation response, until we feel comfortable, until we feel like we've arrived home. And that may not happen within your practice today, and that's okay too. But the more we practice, the more likely we are to arrive. We're checking in, so we're keeping our mind busy by focusing on this breath through this count. And then we're also keeping our mind busy through checking in with any tension and then releasing. So we're going back and forth between the body awareness and the count. Continue find it helpful to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And notice if anything comes up that you want to jitter, you want to move, you can honor that, or you can keep holding and let the breath release it. You can also bring awareness that that might be a need for more movement. That can also be you trying to release something. And if any strong feelings occur to want to get up, to want to stop, to want to leave, just notice those too. And we're going to do this for about 5 more times. And notice where you felt most of your tension today. Was it in the chest? Was it in the back? Was it somewhere particular in the back? Maybe it was even just your jaw tensing or your shoulders tense. And I encourage you to keep a log, keep a journal of your meditation practice and notice what was a struggle. You didn't do anything bad. It's just a matter of what was a little bit more of a challenge and what was a little bit more easy. And write that down, note that down. Notice what thoughts came up today. Maybe if it's noting down the practice that we did today. And begin to log this so that you can see how your journey progresses. And you can also see if things are also coming up. Maybe it's also a reminder that if you're having tension in a particular area, to take some time with that area as well and do some yoga asana practice with it. So comment below on which areas you're feeling tension, and if we have a majority, we can also work through some exercises this week on that as well. Thanks for joining.